Hey, hey. Hi, guys. All right. So, Virgos, I promised a follow-up Virgo video for a storyline. Yael Rubin had asked, could we do a follow-up to one of the Virgo videos? And I said, sure. But what I realized is I couldn't figure out which video Yael was referring to. It said it was the one about something that had been hidden. But as I was scrolling back through, I don't know which video that actually was. I do a lot of videos over the days. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go ahead and ask the question, what might be hidden from view or what is, not on Virgo's radar right now. But I can't necessarily guarantee this is going to feel like it's a follow-up or a second part to a video that I did days ago. Because I don't know which video that was. And I would have to review it and figure out who the characters were and everything. So I'll honor that request the best that I can, and I hope that that's all right. But let's just see what we've got here. We have an 8 of Wands. We have the Tower. There's something about travel. There's something about a change in travel plans. There's something about either someone is suddenly like ending some kind of connection so that they are free enough to go in this new direction. This could be a Cancer. This could be an Aries. But somebody is making an abrupt shift. 2 of Swords. This is somebody who previously felt blocked, like they couldn't do this, and then all of a sudden everything is just going up in smoke. Tell me about that Tower. What is collapsing? We have the Emperor in the reverse, and we have the 2 of Cups. Is somebody having a meltdown over Virgo? Is this somebody who's all of a sudden, like, what's collapsing is a very like sour energy that they had possibly toward love? It almost feels like somebody has been harboring all these hard feelings toward Virgo for a period of time with this 2 of Cups. This is somebody who has harbored all of this they love Virgo, but then they've been like wanting Virgo to crawl, and it's like Virgo's not doing that or something. Virgo's not crawling to them, and they're like, I don't know how to get this back on track. I don't know how to talk to Virgo. Had Virgo blocked them? It's just weird because everything here says like there's this collapse, but normally I look at the Tower as a good card, and if it's collapsing some kind of like difficult energy, some kind of Emperor in the reverse energy, that's all super positive, right? We've got the 9 of Swords in the reverse. This is actually an alleviation of a ton of stress. It almost feels like somebody is saying, you know what, it doesn't matter anymore. I'm never going to hear from this Virgo. I'm never going to, unless I just go talk to this Virgo. I want this Virgo. I've always wanted this Virgo, but I was very sourly sitting there waiting for them to crawl to me and tell me that they love me. Tell me about that Emperor in the reverse. Page of Pentacles upright. Something here about the communication. I'm waiting for Virgo to reach out to me. And even here, he's pissed off, but I almost feel like this has been somebody who's loved Virgo and been mad at Virgo for a very long time. And he's holding this wishbone, like a turkey wishbone, like wondering which side will snap, which side will be the bigger half, which person will be the bigger person, which person will make a move first, who will open up dialogue. He's been waiting kind of in a frustrated energy for Virgo to budge. And I think he's at this point where he suddenly realized it doesn't matter who budges first. He may as well be the one to budge, is what this looks like. The Hierophant. There's something here about like years have been passing, time has been passing, aging has been occurring. And for what? In the big scheme of our life, this waste of like energy where we sit and we want something, but we won't make the move ourselves for what we want. The one thing is not to cast him as a villain, but he is an Emperor in the reverse, which says this was somebody who was not being generous. This was somebody who wanted to have their ego stoked. They wanted Virgo to come toward them. They sat there and waited angrily. I don't even know if Virgo had moved toward them, that this person would have been kind or polite. They might have said something harsh. They might have wanted to create drama, even though this is somebody who wanted Virgo. They thought Virgo was their 2 of Cups. We've got the Temperance card sideways. Yeah, I'm definitely going to say this is somebody who's had no peace, like since Virgo's been out of their life. But they're finally listening to their higher self, and their higher self has said it very bluntly. How many more years or how many more months do you want to sit and wait? You know you're getting older. You know that this standoff that you've been in with Virgo, you know that this is a standoff of your life that is damaging this connection between you and Virgo. We have an Ace of Wands upright. We have the Death card upright. It again, this boils down to if they don't like finally decide to go after what their heart really wants, then this is the way things would end between them and Virgo. They'll never speak to Virgo again unless they actually go ahead and make this change. It, for some reason, in this storyline, I'm not saying Virgo is like somehow this perfect, blameless, whatever. We don't really know what the storyline was. We can only see that, at least on their side, they were being very stuck in a rut, refusing to move toward Virgo, even though they loved Virgo, have always loved Virgo all this time that they've been in this hostile silence, waiting for Virgo to come crawling. I do feel like there's been a tremendous amount of pride, but finally that pride is breaking, and it's finally like, I realize I have no choice because this silence will never cease, will never speak again unless I actually listen to my heart. I do feel like this person's getting older. I mean, we're all getting older all the time, right? That's what we do. We mature, we age, and hopefully we gain wisdom. And hopefully wisdom like maybe tempers some of our, personality, traits a little bit. But this is somebody who wants to go ahead at this point. It feels very sudden. It feels like they are suddenly just going to go ahead and reach out to Virgo is what I'm thinking. Tell me about the Eight of Wands. Is that what you're doing? Or are you just like, blah, forget it. I'm not talking to Virgo anymore. We have got the Queen of Swords sideways, and we've got the Chariot sideways. Hang on. I don't know yet because we've got kind of like a Medusa character here. I said, what action are they taking? And it seems like they're saying, I'm going to go talk to Virgo, but they're expecting total hostility from Virgo, or certainly 50% hostility. Maybe they're expecting Virgo to treat them the way they would have been treating Virgo all this time. Four of Pentacles, yeah. They're expecting to not have, any like kindness afforded to them. But are you actually moving toward Virgo? I'm still unclear on this. Where are you going? What action are you taking? Where are you directing your activity? Ace of Swords. Hang on. Ace of Swords could still be, I'm cutting this out of my life. No, King of Wands. So they are listening to, I'm sorry, I just had to check a couple times to make sure I was reading this the right way in this story. They are listening to their heart. They are listening to their higher self that says, you have known all this time who you wanted to be with. They're no longer the Emperor in the reverse. They've become this King of Wands. They've become somebody who's finally splashing up on shores, finally listening to their heart, finally going toward the Virgo. Let me ask this real quickly. Why is it that Virgo is completely in the dark about all of this? We've got a Six of Wands. We got the Ace of Cups. It honestly looks like Virgo has reached some place in their life where they are, relatively happy and they're feeling successful, or Virgo have said, that person, I know that their ego made them happy without me. They loved themselves and their ego more than they could have loved me. So maybe this just isn't on Virgo's radar because Virgo's like, I don't picture somebody like that ever coming toward me. Two of Pentacles, it's very much like, Virgo weighs it and it's like, I don't picture this person wanting anybody as much as they still want to feel successful. So wait a second, Virgo, what's your spin on this? You feel like this person would never have wanted to come towards you. You feel like this person would never have been, in your life, or was never intending on talking to you. Virgo, what was your relationship with them? Four of Pentacles, it was just a whole lot of wasted time. It was, what we could have had. We never grew. This Four of Pentacles is about holding on, but holding back. The tree of life was right there, but we never made it. We didn't grow. Spirit of Cups, Virgo says, I was crystal clear. I really loved them. Virgo thinks that they were very honest and very clear on how they felt about this person. Three of Pentacles, Virgo. I mean, look, Virgo's painting this picture that I was all in. I would have loved to have been with them. I was ready to connect to them. I gave them love. We have Magician upright. We have the Seven of Wands. Virgo's like, every time I tried to manifest something with them, I got blocked. Every time, if I talked about the future, they didn't want that. Everything. I don't know why would this. Let's go back over to them and ask, why does Virgo feel like everything was always blocked? Judgment, Ten of Wands. Look, anybody who's carrying around the Ten of Wands says they had a whole bunch of stuff that they were still dealing with. And this is like this lizard fellow who's supposed to be fixing somebody's roof still. I feel like, I don't know, were they still reconciling with somebody else? Were they making peace with somebody else and they had to do someone else's bidding? Hang on, what does that mean? You carried burdens and you had obligations to somebody else. Page of Swords and Empress. See, I really think that in the past, this, like Emperor in the reverse, everything they saw in Virgo, it's almost like they felt Virgo was going to one-up them all the time. Oh yeah, Virgo's so great. Virgo's so perfect. Look at that. See how Virgo's just showing me how I'm supposed to live my life. Virgo's got all their stuff, under control. And here I am, still just trying to make peace with some problems in my life. So did they get a chip on their shoulder and imagine that Virgo was like, more or less making them feel bad? Is that what that was about? Page of Cups, King of Pentacles. I'm not saying Virgo did this to them on purpose. This could have just been their perspective, but they feel like Virgo made them feel like a little kid instead of an equal. They feel like Virgo had a way of like either talking down to them, making them feel like what they were going to offer was pitiful, even made them feel like this is who you should be if I'm going to be with you. Let me just ask, was there any energy of that came from Virgo? Was there any energy of that came from Virgo? Six of Cups sideways. I don't know. I mean, this says Virgo thought this person was a soulmate. Maybe Virgo once upon a time said something about somebody from their past. If like a nostalgic, maybe they said something about somebody else. Maybe they said an ex had been really toxic, and maybe they got it in their head that this Virgo was still obsessed with an ex. The thing is, Virgo might have said an ex was awful, but they took it to mean Virgo still wants that person. Yeah, they took it to mean Virgo is not really over an ex. Virgo still wants an ex. That's why Virgo is talking about them, saying that they're okay. So I'm thinking that this Emperor was incredibly jealous of Virgo, and I don't think Virgo had any clue about that. So it's another thing that was hidden. Virgo did not know that this person was deeply jealous. They thought Virgo was their Two of Cups, but then they got so jealous thinking Virgo's not over some ex. So is that why they always felt like Virgo should crawl to them and make them feel better? But if Virgo had crawled to you, let's be honest, would you have treated Virgo nice, or would you have pushed Virgo away? They're saying Ten of Pentacles and the Lovers. They're saying, yeah, I would have if Virgo had just, pursued me. So basically they wanted to be chased. But I think, let me just ask, when they clearly must have, withheld from Virgo, stayed away from Virgo, have been waiting all this time for Virgo to say something, even though Virgo's like, I kept trying to build with them, but we didn't get anywhere. They never wanted to build with me. It's because it's like Virgo didn't say the words that would make them feel really special, which is maybe like, there's nobody else but you. You're the best thing I've ever seen. You're the best. Maybe Virgo didn't give them exactly the words that they needed to feel really special. And if Virgo had, this all could have been better. Let me just ask, what did you want from Virgo? Because Virgo says you didn't want to build with them. What did you want from Virgo? Queen of Pentacles. I wanted Virgo to like make me the focal point. I wanted Virgo to say I was the best kisser, the best lover, the best everything they ever had. That's what I wanted. I wanted Virgo to say, I only want to be with you. I only want to build with you. Always, always. In a world full of choices, I only choose you. That Two of Wands. I don't want to go anywhere else. I only have you as my future. Okay, so this person really wanted to be made to feel like they were the only one. Virgo, did you know any of that? Six of Swords, Virgo's like, it was so complicated and so harsh. I just felt like, I guess they just wanted to stay away from me. Or I, somehow they were better off without me, or they found more calm and peace, or they were looking for calm and peace. Okay, but admittedly, it looked like they were still carrying a burden. Character, what was the burden you were carrying? Because that was also hidden from Virgo. Five of Swords, Three of Coins. Okay, so they may have been jilted by some other lover, and maybe two other lovers in the past. That's why it hit them so hard. If they, were very triggered, or if they were carrying unhealed wounds from previous connections, like, I know what it feels like to not be picked. I know what it feels like to be thrown over for other lovers. I've had that happen to me. And now what I need is Virgo to tell me that I'm the very thing they most wanted, so that I can forget that somebody else treated me bad before. So that's where they got the chip on their shoulder. It was a little like they were punishing Virgo for the fact that they were mistreated by people in the past. And then in their mind, Virgo should have like really shown them all this love. But with this Two of Cups, let me just ask, because they really did love Virgo. They really have felt that Virgo was their person. They're only just now admitting that with the Tower card falling again. Second time we've seen the Tower. Okay, so they're only just now maybe getting to that point where they're really, so this is almost hidden from them too, just how much they actually wanted to be with Virgo. And I think let me just ask, where is Virgo at this point in time in regards to them? Hanged Man sideways. I really think that Virgo's like, I don't know that I can think about this anymore. It just seems like nothing ever happened. It seems like it's been this stagnated thing that will always just be this stagnated thing. I can't think about this anymore because nothing's ever changed with this. When I tried to build with them, they didn't want to build with me. Virgo has lost all trust in this. Virgo's maybe even lost their own intuition regarding this, because I think this person cloaked and pushed Virgo away so hard. Are you aware that you seem to have pushed Virgo away? Because that's what Virgo's impression is. Eight of Wands, I think it just struck them. Maybe I did push Virgo away and I wanted Virgo to prove things to me. I wanted them to chase me, but Virgo didn't. Instead, I just shoved Virgo away. Then I imagined Virgo wasn't saying enough to tell me that I was wonderful. Now I'm realizing I should have actually, I think they're realizing that they sabotaged things. That's the things that's hidden from Virgo, is that we have this masculine who is like, I'm the one who sabotaged things. I'm the one who is now kind of like racing back. We have that Eight of Wands twice. I'm racing back to try to see if there's still a chance here. We have that Tower twice and we have the Eight of Wands twice. So a lot of things have changed for them. But now the fact that we have this Nine of Pentacles here, it's like Virgo's in a pretty stable and calm space, which could be excellent energy to be able to have like a heart-to-heart conversation, which ultimately is what these two desperately need. Temperance, but we do have a Ten of Cups in the reverse. This is finally they can sit down and have rational conversation about what happened. How come we didn't get to have the Ten of Cups? If there's ever been a chance for these two to get things back on board, it is now, because a lot of time has passed and because there's been not really questions answered, but now finally these two could get to a place of real communication is what it says. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing.